Hi guys, so today I'm really excited. I'm in a Volkswagen Transporter Campervan. It's a 2016 66 and it's got everything on it. It's a really nice bus, really nice place to be. It's got electric windows, electric mirrors, remote central locking. It's got Bluetooth phone, it's got a USB port if you want to put some media in that way. It does do Bluetooth audio as well. It's got that's sort of the standard spec of the van, and then you've got obviously the bench seat in the front, so we've got 3 seats in the front of the vehicle. Manual 5-speed box, economical bus. It's, as a van, it's fantastic and it looks really nice. However, as I said, this is a camper and it's been converted. And they've done what a job they've done of the thing. Now, you can see these sort of straps hanging about around my head here that are a bit in the way. These are to do with the roof, so that we can pop the roof, because we've got a pop roof on it, which I think I had 2 of these vans 3-4 years ago that I converted myself into campers, not to a higher specification as these, my own just imagination, but I love doing it, I really enjoyed it, and I didn't do the pop roof on them. It's sort of about, depending on where you go, it can be sort of $3-5 grand option. That's what I've done, and I was like, well, it was for me and my girlfriend, a month girl, and I thought, well, I don't really need the extra bed, because you can have an extra bed put up there, so you can have a double bed in the form of a rock and roll bed in the back like this has got. You can have an extra bed put up there. But I was like, I don't really need that. So it's fine, I'll say $3-5 grand. However, what you do miss without that is the standing space. So if you decide you're going to cook in the back, or you're going to wash up, or you're going to be, playing a game of cards, or whatever it is, and you want to be moving about in the back of this thing, you really do miss the head height. Now, you can get the high roof versions of the Transporters, which, whilst you give you that head height, they're not the prettiest thing in the world. And the other thing as well is they limit you in where you can go. So a lot of car parks are set to 2 meters, they wouldn't get in. This will. It's about, I think it's 1.9 meters, something like that. So it comfortably goes in the tip, it goes in car parks, wherever you are. And the beauty of these things is you can get the full-size motorhomes, but when you get there, you see a lot of people towing a smart car behind them, or whatever, because when you get there, you don't want to pack up a big, massive thing and start trying to take that around a little village in the Lake District. It's not ideal at all. Whereas with these things, they're a really sensible size, and you can sort of bring the roof down, pack your kits up, and off you go, and you're away really. So it really is the best of both worlds, and you've not got the size, and you've not got double beds for everyone on board, and a full-size shower and stuff like that. You miss out on that with the motorhome. But aside from that, and I think they're great. I think they're cool. They're not as good looking as the original VW campers, the split screens and stuff like that. But aside from that, they're absolutely fantastic. They look stunning. They drive really well. They're economical, and they're just the worlds apart from. You see sort of the people have done conversions on Vauxhall Aros. They've done them on the Ford. To be fair, the Ford Transit Custom is a nice conversion. I've seen people do them with the Nissan MV200. I've seen them with Sprinters, and obviously with the Sprinter you've got the length, you've got the height. And I don't think anything comes close to how it can look with a Volkswagen Transporter, and that's what we're in today, and that's what we're in today, and that's sort of the daddy of them all, where it all began, and that's the other thing, to be fair. The turning circle is fantastic. They're nimble. You can get them round, and I love the Lake District. I'm always in the Lake District, and if you turn up I've took an S-Class long wheelbase to the Lake District, and it's a nightmare. Every bend and every turn's a 3-point manoeuvre. There's no you don't just glide round a bend in the Lake District in a big vehicle. Whereas with these things, I've took plenty of these to the Lake District, it's no problem at all. There's loads of room and manoeuvrability. I'm really excited to get in the back of this thing and show you about. But we've got as I said, we've got the rock and roll bed with under-seat storage. We've got the full kitchen conversion, so we've got a sink, we've got a cooker, we've got a fridge, we've got the pop top, which we're going to get out, and there's just everything on it. It's just brilliant. It really is. They're a really exciting place to be, and you get looks as you're driving along. As I'm driving along in this now, people are looking at me, and thinking, oh, it's a nice looking thing, because you get the nod off the other VW camper driver, or even the other VW transporter driver. You get the nod as you're driving along, and people are, you know, you're sort of part of a little bit of a cult club, really, when you want one of these things. And they really are. Considering that I'm very lucky in the position that I'm in with my YouTube channel to drive Ferraris and Bentleys and Range Rovers and all sorts of cars, there's something. I've always been a big fan of vans, and maybe that's a weird oddity of mine. And I just do like vans. I like driving vans. I like the height. I like the positioning of them, and everything that goes with that, really. But I think the thing is, these VW Transporters just really are something else. There's something special that I'm really excited to be here and be driving this. And I just love. At the moment, for all intents and purposes, I'm driving a van, which, as I said, I quite like. But there's just something special about that van. It looks nice. It's a nice height. It drives well, and it goes through the gears. We've got a manual 5-speed box on this, and it goes through the gears really, really well. It's just an enjoyable experience, really. But once we get into the back, and once we pop that top and things like that, then we really take that up a gear then, because we really feel. I remember going back to, you know, campsites that I used to go and mine, and you'd get there and you'd sort of open the doors and climb in the back, and it just felt special. It just felt like, right, we're in for a good time here now. We're in for a few nights away, and we'll be breathing in the country air and going for some nice walks and setting up the barbecue. And we used to make bacon butters in the morning on a little bit of a stove, a gas-powered stove outside, because they do have the cooker inside these things, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you can use the cooker. And the only thing I'd say with using the cooker is you're going to generate a little bit of smoke and food smells that's going to go on the fabric and, you know, the inside of the vehicle. So this has been trimmed, the rock and roll seats have been trimmed to match the front seats, which I don't think are the standard VW coverings. They're a nice, they're a fabric finish, but they're a nice finish. Everything looks like brand new the way they've done it. They've really done a nice job of it. And I think the issue with that, and not with leather, is the fact that you wouldn't have a leather headline and a leather sidewall particularly, is you are going to keep food smells in there. So yeah, I think being mindful of that, we had this little gas stove that we used to cook with outside, and, you know, it worked really, really well. And I think that's sort of the way to go, really. In my eyes, you can cook inside, and if it's absolutely lashing it downside and you need to, you've got the cooker available. The fridge is fantastic. The fridge, the way I did it when I had the fridge was I had it permanently connected to the battery. So the wired in various different configurations, these things. But what you can do, and what I did, was I got all of a smart charger. So I had the obviously main van battery, and then I had 2 leisure batteries in it that were wired in series. And what happened was it had a detector on it, so it detected once the alternator had charged the main battery of the vehicle, it would then start charging the leisure batteries. I also had a 240 hook up on the side of the van, so I could plug it in at a campsite, and it had charged that battery as we were going, or you could charge it overnight at home. And that also enabled the 240 sockets in the back to give you power when you're at a campsite. It wouldn't, obviously it'd run everything else, but your 240 sockets wouldn't run off the leisure batteries, and while you were out and about, they'd only run when you were connected to main supply. But the way I had that wired then, I had that wired so that the fridge was constantly connected to the leisure battery. So as long as you drove the van fairly regularly, you had a fridge that was constantly running, and they're a very low power consumption. It's the same fridge as I had in mine in this, and it's got you can run it off mains electricity, you can run it off 12-volt supply, you can even run it off gas. So they're about a £500 or £600 fridge. They're not cheap, and you can get, 12-volt cool boxes and stuff like that instead. But to be fair, it was the best in the business, and it was the best in the business for a reason, and it just kept everything cold. So if I was just driving about and I wasn't particularly using it for going camping and things like that, I always had cold bottles of water and cans of Diet Coke in the back, and you had a freezer compartment, so you could have ice pops in there or whatever you wanted for the kids. It was just easy and readily available. There's tons of storage. You can use it as a van still. Obviously, you've got the big open space, but you do need to be mindful of the fact that it's a lovely camper van, and you don't want to be throwing a load of rubbish for the tip in there, and then you're going to be living and sleeping in there. The sink's dead handy. So at the moment, we're in the middle of, we've eased on lockdown now. We're in July of 2020, but we're in a time where hygiene is more important than ever, where you've got your own water supply on board. You have a bottle for clean water and a bottle for dirty water, and it sorts out. You can just empty that, and that's available for washing your hands whenever you need to with warm soap and water. If you want, the taps are electronically powered through the battery. It's the whole array, it's the whole package. It's got everything on this vehicle, and I just think that, as you can probably tell by the video, I'm very excited to be here, and I love everything about the VW campers. So yeah, it's what a nice place to be, and what a nice to be fair, going back to the liking of driving a van thing, which I know is a bit personal to me, but there's something about the fact that you know what you're bringing with you. So you're driving along and you know what's behind you and what you're taking somewhere, and the adventure that's about to happen, and what's gonna, what's next, sort of thing. And I think that's quite exciting in itself. And we're lucky because we're at a lovely sunny day today here in Manchester. Normally the videos are filmed with a horrible rainy day, and the pictures are a bit rainy, and the outside footage is a bit wet, whereas today we're in a lovely sunny day in Manchester, and we've got some lovely scenery and things in and around here. We're sort of on the edge of Saddleworth here now, and it really is a nice place to be. On the previous video I did in the BMW i3, the sort of sports camera GoPro style thing that's on the front bonnet. Sorry, it was on the roof at the time. This one's on the bonnet today, and it was on the roof, and we were driving along, and you just did, and it went flying backwards. So I'm a little bit more. I've got some breath about me today, whereas in that video I had to go running down the road and hold the traffic up to get the camera back. Whereas today we're in business. We're gripped onto a nice metal sturdy bonnet, and we seem to be not having many issues, which is great. Okay, so we're in the back of the bus now. So I've got the lift up hob, I've got the sink, and the tap lifts up, and then as you pull that little lever there for the sink, that's actually electronically operated, so that fires the water down. Under here we've just got access to another storage in the bottom of the sink. This here is used for, I'm not sure where it is in this vehicle, but this rail here is used for attaching a table to. So we can attach that to that, it comes out, and then it's got a leg that stands up, and it's just a nice little finishing touch again. We've got USB chargers, we've got a 12 volt supply, and we've got a 240 socket. Again, that's when you're on a campsite. If we turn this on, we get some lights. Hopefully we'll get a readout. So we've got a temperature readout there. We've got a readout of how much voltage is in the battery, how much charge is in the battery, and we can turn the tap on. We can have the 12 volt on, and we can set a program for the heater. Now we'll turn that off because I don't want the heater coming on. But we've also got options here for various lights around the place. We'll leave that on for a minute actually. So down here is the fridge that I was talking about before. Brand new conversion. Got the freezer box at the top there. And as I said, if that's run off the battery, we really do get an amazing thing to be driving along with a fridge on tap. Not a Range Rover small fridge, a proper fridge. This has been used for the storage of the 2 water tanks. We've got a clean water and a wastewater at the back. Got a nice drawer here for lots more storage. The thing I like about these as well is that everything's locked, so as you're driving along there's no chance of any cupboard doors coming rattling open. It's secured in place, which is good. Up top here they've made use of some more storage space inside there, and again that'll stay up itself. So there's not really been anything left where they could have made better use of the storage there. This one here opens up, we've got some shelf storage in the back. Again, we've got the locker up top here. So these rock and roll beds that are in these things, they are what they call pull tested. So they're MLT compliant, they're insurance compliant, and it's important if you are going to buy a VW Transporter that you make sure that you get one that is pull tested. And it just means that they can be used as a as a rear seat. So we've got an extra 2 seats here. So now we've got a 5-seater van rather than just your traditional 3-seater or 2-seater, depending if you've got the bench configuration or not. So having that 5 seats really is nice for traveling. And I think with the pop roof as well, that means that we've got something that's, you know, that we can carry more people because we can store more people. We can, you know, when we get there, we've got more room for people when we get to the final destination. We've got these nice window blinds as well, just for that added level of privacy. They pull across from both sides, and I think you can see that on the door that's open at the moment. That's also got the sun blinds on as well, which just means at night time you can get the cushions that go over the they'll go over the front windows, provide insulation for night time, and they also offer obviously privacy because they cover the windows up. So that's, you know, that's an added bonus as well. These rock and roll beds really are fantastic. Let's see if we can get this one out. Okay, so what we've got on the side here, there's a lever. I can't get that in the shot. On the side there's a lever there. We hold that as we bring this seat forward. That comes down on the way. Okay, so then there's a bar here that we pull on, and as we pull on that, this now folds forward. If I get my leg out of the way of that drops down into place. We grab hold of the lever here at the side again. This pops back up into place. And then we've got the table here I was talking about. I'll show you that in a minute. There's another lever at the back there, which I'll show you in a second. And once we're finished, so we've now got a complete double bed. So the levers I was talking about, there's one down the side there, that's for the rear one. There's one there, that's for the front piece. This falls down with the bar, and then it's a case of putting it back together again, putting your bed sheets on, which you can keep in the top locker up there. And away we go, really. So I'll just put that back together again. Just watch how quick this goes back together again. So we depress the rear lever, locate that back, grab hold near the seat belts, that snaps back into place, and then again grab the lever, lift that, this lifts over the top. One thing you do need to be mindful of when you're doing this is just tuck them seat belts out the way as you do it, because the last thing you want to do is have to undo it again because you've locked your seat belts in. Well, that's it, jobs are good, and we've got the seats back exactly as they were. We're ready to go. I just want to show you that table as well while we're here. So this is the table I was talking about. And it's a case of they click on there like that, the leg pulls down, and we've got a table, and we can position that a bit further forward or a bit further back. And then when we're finished, then once it's unclicked, it's a case of sliding that to one side, that folds down, and it's ready to go away again. So one more thing I just want to show you is the pop top on this thing, because that really sets it apart. It's really nice. So what I like about this pop top on this is it's really, really simple. Sometimes they're electronic, sometimes they're a bit fiddly. This isn't at all. It's a case of the 2 straps that we're dangling down, we release the tension on them, push the roof, and up it goes. I'll show you. So these straps here, we slacken them off a bit as I've done here, and as you push that up now, just take some of the tension in the thing as we go, you'll see the hydraulics put it up. I mean, just look at that, isn't that something to behold? What a phenomenal thing. And if we look now inside, we've actually, this is also on hydraulic struts, so we can take that up, and we've got tons of standing room in here. And also, if this is down, we've got, lighting's not very good up here, but we've got a bed. We've got a proper bed. I mean, what a thing. It's, again, I know I'm really excitable and really excited by this thing, but you know, you can see there the headroom. You can see how easy this comes down. We've got a bed space. This is just on hydraulics. Everything's really, really easy to do with it. And again, to pull this back down, it's just a case of tugging on them two straps, pulling it down into place, and then making sure you've tightened them up nice and tight so it doesn't move while we're on the journey. Well, that's it. It's just so simple, so basic, so amazing, and what a lot of fun you can have in this van. So I think that's it really for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please smash that like button. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos like this. I'll see you all very soon. Thanks a lot.